All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide randomizer community race. We have a pretty exciting race for you here tonight for very talented runners going through what is more or less a standard seed in this Worlds Collide randomizer. There are a few tweaks here and there that we'll touch on as we get to that, but we're excited to bring you Brianna Fofana, Jackamus Wedge, Mr. Entity, and Sid in this Worlds Collide community race. It's just for fun, but it's going to be a great showcase for some of the skill that our runners have on display. Some of our community members are going to, I'm sure, pull out some exciting tricks and techniques as we kick off this race, which begins right now. In the booth with me is Yakko Wacko. Yakko, what are we looking at as we start this seed?
Well, as you can see on the screen, we have a 7-12-0 requirement, but if they get 2 extra characters, they can skip most of Kefka's Tower and go straight to the statues. And we're starting with 3 characters. We have Gogo, Umaro, and the Murder Child.
I think, Realm is definitely the bright spot there. Very powerful magic caster. Umaro and Gogo are not the 2 characters you're usually excited to see at the start of a seed. Sid is very excited, however, to find the Ragnarok sword in that chest in the Returner's hideout. An excellent, excellent weapon to find at the very start of the seed. But Umaro the Yeti is a fun character sometimes, maybe more fun to watch than to actually have in your party. He is always berserked and will swing at whatever he wants to, will sometimes throw your party members, which is always fun to see. Gogo the Mimic, can make a strong party stronger, but Gogo's stats are not great, and Gogo's unable to benefit from Esper bonuses, so ends up generally being an underwhelming character by endgame. Also has sort of an annoying character check, the Zone Eater Cave, but I'm sure we'll be seeing that before too long.
All right, Sid already finding the dried meat, which is one of the items you need to find if you're going to do the Gao check on the belt.
Yes, indeed. As we see Jackamus, the first runner to dive into Zone Eater, you see he changed out his party to only have Realm, making the Engulf take less time than it would with 3 characters. And we'll get to see how Jack deals with these terrifying conductors. They look like the conductors on the Phantom Train, but here they just exist to knock you off the edge and waste your time.
Yeah, sounds like typical guards just throw you off.
No trouble for Jack, however. Narrowly sneaks by one of the conductors. Hopefully will not get flattened in the huge stone flattening room.
Yeah, notice he didn't do the safety save, so he must really feel confident in here.
Very bold. Found a cat hood. Nice to see. Sorry, you were saying?
I was saying stranger things have happened in here. Even when you think you are safe, you get credited with a flatten.
It's true. Mr. Entity doing some off the beaten path looting, doing through the caves behind Narsh. You don't see that in every race, but perhaps Mr. Entity hoping to find something to boost his early game. Jackamus finds a big boost in the form of Best Girl Terra.
The goat.
Ooh, with sword tech. That's fun. Terra is a character always happy to see. Incredible stats, incredible checks, incredible array of equipment to wear. She's best girl. What else can you say?
Yeah, so I have a feeling we'll probably see a run to the Esper Cave next on Jack's side.
No doubt, as Brianna doing some very early grinding.
Nice to see different paths for once in a seed, huh?
I always love seeing divergence. I really think one of the great strengths of this Worlds Collide randomizer is the possibility for divergence, and how often you see that in a race. The way 2 different runners can tackle the seed, break down in very different ways. It's always very exciting to see, and it sort of keeps the audience on their toes a bit, not really being sure who's ahead if everyone is running off in different directions.
I must have missed it. Where did Sid find Marvel shoes?
I did not catch the Marvel shoes. I caught the Ragnarok in Returner's Hideout, which Mr. Entity is about to find. Sid has already found. Jack is doing... That Ruined Mobliz is doing a Terra check, and not the typical first Terra check at that.
He also finds a Sky Render in the clock, which is one of Cyan's strongest weapons.
Yes, indeed. Great sword, and great to sell as well.
But yeah, whenever I see...
sorry, you were saying?
I was just going to say, whenever I see the Marvel shoes, I'm just like, I immediately equip that because that is one of my favorite relics in the game. As it's a combination of the pod bracelet, the cure ring, and the running shoes.
It's a great one. Gives you pretty much everything you need. Jack now heading into the Imperial base to loot that very treasure-rich basement. As Sid, meanwhile, digging through the basements of South Figaro. That is a pretty juicy Imperial base that Jack is running through. Marvel shoes, experience egg, snow muffler now. I've lost track already of all the goodies in that base, so that Terrifind is immediately paying out.
Yes. Meanwhile, Sid finishing up the South Figaro check. We found a fake mustache so far. It hasn't been too overwhelming. I mean, beads, that's a good relic there.
Yeah, it may have been an elemental shield as well, or maybe my eyes deceived me. Mr. Entity doing some very out-of-the-way checks, perhaps doubling down on this sort of off-meta looting strategy to find some goodies that other runners might miss.
Because you never know, it just might be that one check that, who knows, maybe we'll even see a Miranda check today.
I would love to see it. Love to see areas of the game that aren't usually explored. Though I don't know how much more looting they will need. It has been a stacked seat at the opening. Sid finds an offering in ruined South Figaro.
Oh, wow. And also, South Figaro Shop's got some nice armor in there. I saw a red jacket. I saw... What else did I see? I saw cat hoods.
Also finds a red jacket in a box. Just some random crate. And Jackam's Wedge now with 2 snow mufflers. So this is a very generous seed to start. We have a pretty high-powered opening. It's going to be exciting to see these runners take on their first few bosses after these initial checks.
Yeah, there's definitely no shortage of armor or weapons in this one, so there's no excuse there. And there's another experience egg at the Terra check.
Oh, baby.
And slap those
Nanaku-chan
on.
making a very good point, which we haven't mentioned yet. One of the reasons these chests are so stacked is that we are playing with 100% random. So we've taken out all the vanilla items that are in the chest pool and just completely mixed it up. So, it could have been all tonics and tinctures, but instead it's been all experience eggs, great gear, and a really great sword to start.
Okay, I just saw a force shield in the South Figaro check, so I wonder if that was the shield or maybe if there's another one coming up. Which is also good depending on the runner. Some people love the force shield, some people hate it.
Yeah, well, it's one of the end game options. I'm personally such a big fan of the elemental shields. Having those elemental immunities just always seems to come up. Always gives you a great help. But, obviously, Force Shield is an endgame shield. Genji is another endgame shield. And you're usually never upset to see them. Jack now finds 6 dice in Albrook. As Sid is now heading down into the Zone Eater Cave, we see he does have the full initial party of 3, so this engulf will take just a bit longer. But he should get down there, no trouble.
And Jack just finds and Jack just found a Thunder Rod in the armor shop, and a Tintina Bar. Well, I mean, in Randomizer, Tintina Bar isn't that great. There's some more good relics in the shop here.
Yeah, Jack finding hero rings, earrings, Atlas armets. That's fantastic gear. Obviously raises the physical and or magical defense depending on the relic. Always happy to have. Love to slap 2 earrings on Realm, teach her some spells, and let her go off as the magic caster for a seed.
But find out what's the... oh, can you spare it? 233 for Torado. I mean,
wow. Yeah, a little rich for my blood, but I guess.
I know. I think it's a trip to McDonald's for me then.
Yeah, so Brianna finds our first Esper of the game. Doom safe and HP plus 30%. Not super exciting. One thing to point out in this seed, as I mentioned, there are a few tweaks to the standard formula. One is that all of the Espers will have either 2 or 3 spells. So we're not going to find any, super powered Espers that offer you 5 different, tier 3 Uber spells at once. It's going to be a little slimmer options for our runners.
Should we have Ragnaroks for sale and Mirage Vests in Zen? So there's another option there.
Wow.
Mirage Vest, not the greatest defense, but it does cast in the Shadow Edge on it, so that will,
the image status.
Yeah, so that'll improve your evade. That's been known to help me in certain seeds.
Yeah, Mr. Entity now taking on a fight and actually running away from this fight. Ogors and Coverts, a very scary combo. Not one you want to take on at level 3. Not a fight you want to take on at any level. And Mr. Entity scooting out of there as Sid is about to find his Terra. Be happy to see that. The Red Fang fight, much more manageable for Mr. Entity, trying to farm up some early levels. Though he does still have Zombie Realm, who downs Go-Go.
This can't be good. It's all up to you, Amaru. It's all down to the Yeti.
Yeah, really riding the Yeti in the early game. Jack now taking on a random encounter of his own with these Whispers. Should not be a challenge. And it looks like Brianna is going to head into the Cave of the Espers to do one of Realm's checks.
So this is one we can get a preview of who we're going to get, if it's a character or not. And it is not a character.
No, should be Esper or item. We'll have to see what the boss is. Brianna's level 6, which is still pretty low. So we'll have to see how this plays out. Number 24 is one of the easier bosses. Certainly something Brianna was hoping to see, and we should see this Yeti take care of business. Ooh, with a cool Terato summon, no less. Always fun to see the Esper summons.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no complaints here.
You can see on Sid's screen doing some relic shuffling, slap those 2 earrings on Realm, turn Murder Child into her final form, just teach her some spells, let her go off.
She evolves into, oh my god, it's coming towards us.
I do want to say I like the palettes we've seen so far in this scene. I'm a big fan of all of the cosmetic customization of the Worlds Collide randomizer. I love the playing around with the sprites, playing around with the palettes, and I think we've got a fun batch in this seed so far.
I think Realm was doing Amaro's hair during the pregame.
Kind of looks like that, huh? Yeti down for Brianna. Yeti now back up. Number 24, not going down without a fight. Very smart to use Runic against this boss that likes to cast some magic early. Mr. Entity is making a trip to Figaro Castle, without any of the Figaro brothers in tow, this is purely a looting expedition, continuing Mr. Entity's strategy, it seems, of doing these out of the way, or at least just sort of off-path treasure checks.
He's looking for some kind of advantage to get through on the sea that the others just might not see, and right now, not really too much. Peace ring, I guess that's okay.
Yeah, no, they're two very decent shops in Figaro Castle, not really providing anything that's going to crack this open for Mr. Entity, but cool to see him making this check, trying to find an edge wherever you can. Brianna's still taking on number 24. We've got Jumping Go-Go, doing not much. Really need more of those, yeah, Yeti body slams there to get this done.
Oh, now Culligan checks. Of course, we got behind the weird man's house. Jewel ring, nether. Could be better, could be worse.
Yeah, the shop fodder. That sounds like money to me.
Okay, number 02. Oh, I thought it went down. I guess not. It's still up there. I saw a flash for a second. Okay, there we go.
No, there it goes.
I
24
was
is down. Sword swing from Worm takes care of it, and that's first boss of the seed down at 16 minutes, and we'll get to see what Brianna earns in this early conquest as Sid runs through the sealed cave, and Jacquemus continues to grind.
Okay, so the Esper was Alexander in the Esper gathering place. Meanwhile, Mr. Entity actually found a Super Ball in Culligan, in Rachel's house.
Very nice. You know, I have to admit, I know what Super Balls are. I don't know entirely how they work. Could you maybe explain that for me and perhaps some of the viewers?
Super Balls are as rando can get. They are unavailable. The damage can be anywhere from 256 to over 9,000. You don't know who it's going to hit if it's a multiple battle, but if it's a single battle, it's more likely to hit the one, but it just kind of depends on what happens. It's very random what the damage is. It's very good in the pretty much in the early beginning of the seeds when you don't have a lot of options. This can definitely be a seed opener for you.
Cool, the RNG ball, I love it. Mr. Entity buying away, finding an economizer in Miranda, no less. So going out of the way and getting rewarded for that economizer, very nice, particularly early on, to extend the life of your magic users, as Jack finds himself faced off against Chatternook.
Oh, fun. I'm sure everyone is saying. Found him, yeah, that's in the Narsh cave.
Yeah, Chatternook, one of those time waster bosses. Should not be a problem for Jack. That Terra with the Ragnarok already swinging for pretty decent numbers at this level. As you can see, doing 3 times Yeti damage. And it will only get better as Jack's party continues to level up.
Brianna did a check in the auction house. Did you see if there was any Espers?
I did not catch that, unfortunately. But I do see her entering Auser's house, do Realm's other check.
And starting off with a muscle belt, because, you know, we're just being super generous tonight with all the with everything. Muscle belt gives you 50% additional HP, so if you combine that with the Valiant Knife, you can really do some stuff there.
Yes, indeed. I do want to just say early on. Oh, hey, pardon me, Katana Soul. Sid finds the one monster in the box you always want to find. This is, well, I guess less exciting when I think he already has an offering. But, you know, one's great, surely two is better.
Yeah, I think there was an offering in the Esper Cave.
I believe it was Ruin South Figaro, but this is not a gimme fight for Cid. He's still very low level, has Terra running Dispatch on the Soul. So we may be in for a lengthy fight here, or possibly an unfortunate wipe. That hurts from Katana Soul. I mean, we can see on Jack's screen having some trouble with Chatternook as well. Down two characters. That Terra is down. You want to get her up right away.
And Cid just noped out of that. He's like, try again another day. If anything, he has the knowledge. If he can build himself up, he can head back over there and try again. And of course, if you have the cat hood on, that's over 100,000 GP. You'll get in that fight as well as the offering.
That is very true. Though money, I don't think will be an issue for these runners in this seed, just with the wealth of high-end, very expensive gear we've seen them find already. Though I will say, Katana Soul also in a pretty convenient location as far as monsters in a box go, just hanging out right at the entrance of Narshe. So, yes, it can come back at his leisure, or not come back at all. Brianna makes it to the end of Bowser's Mansion, finds Ultros. Hey, our first octopus sighting of the seed.
But the least favorite one to find.
Yeah, Ultros 4, you're fighting two instead of one. I prefer I'm an Ultros purist. I like the fights with just him. And of course, you get no rewards for him.
Jack just took a reset.
As I was looking at Ultros, yeah, Jack got a reset with that Chatternook.
Meanwhile, Mr. Entity is heading to get his Tirado Esper in... no, not Tirado, it was Alexander, yes.
Yes, indeed. Just want to give a quick aside to chat. There are two of us here in the commentator's booth watching 4 screens, so I will just say this right now. I apologize for the things that I know I will miss over the course of this stream, and please feel free to chime in and let us know things that we may have missed. There's obviously a lot going on. We've got, even right now, two concurrent boss fights. Jack is doing a little more grinding to level up for that Chatternook fight, and looks like Cid is doing a bit of shopping in Narshe as well.
Missed this one earlier. Okay, so was that Strago I saw, or was that Sabin?
I think that was Sabin or Cyan. We'll see how Cid does taking on Chatternook now.
Either way, we know it's a character, and also behind Chatternook would be Locke. So that will definitely unlock some more possibilities.
Very true. And of course, Locke, a great character to see once you have an offering in hand. Of course, the Valiant Knife offering combo is a classic in Worlds Collide. Can do just bonkers damage late game, and Locke is one of the few that naturally can equip the Valiant Knife. So always have to see 2 out of the 3. Ooh, another Tirado summon. 2 out of the 3 of the sort of, Valiant Knife offering Locke trifecta.
Wonder what the designers were thinking with this Vector design here.
The one that's like a bunch of monsters stacked up on each other?
Yeah, exactly. So I see you saw the Super Ball stat, and also at least one positive with Gogo is that he can mimic it. So you're getting a 2-for-1 on the Super Ball there. And actually, Gogo's was a lot stronger than Brown's was.
That's a very good point. Yeah, Gogo's ability to mimic items is one of the sort of hidden strengths of Mime. Obviously, you saw it there with Super Balls. We can see it if they ever find and choose to break an elemental shield, you get, twice your bang for your buck with Go-Go, as Brianna takes down the Ultros Forfight, gets sneezed away, and gets rewarded by this golden ghost with Siren.
It's an Esper you like to see, especially for the end game, if you can't find an Esper that has Mute on it, because that will shut up magic in Tier 2.
Yes, indeed. I do want to say also from a sort of meta perspective, I'm happy for Brianna's sake that she did not find a character there. We'll hopefully shepherd her towards the Go-Go check to get that very, very useful Terra on her team.
Both Brianna and Mr. Entity about to find out. Oh, okay, I guess Mr. Entity. Oh, okay, I guess he was just going for a heal. So maybe Brianna will find her Katana Soul there. Debilitator, very interesting tool. Could be good for memes sometimes, and also good for strats.
Yeah, Debilitator, not a tool that helps out in every run, but when it does help out, it really helps out. If you're running against, say a boss like Tritok, who's only weak to fire and basically immune to anything else, and if you don't have any fire on hand, but you have a Debilitator, just keep firing away until it's weak to something you do have on hand.
Make Flame Eater weak to fire, yes, exactly.
Brianna also having trouble with this Katana Soul. Don't think this is a winnable fight.
And
but we have dueling Chatternooks on screen now.
Yeah,
Jack was back for round 2. And Sid is in trouble.
Yeah, I have a feeling that's going to be a wipe there, or a reset. Brianna just noped out of the Katana Soul fight.
Probably for the best. This Chatternook has been giving our runners a lot of problems early on in this seed. Jack has round 2. Sid is now annihilated. Gonna have to restart and get back in there, as looks like Brianna's doing some more grinding, which is probably wise given the trouble we're seeing with our other runners taking on these early bosses.
So this seed giveth and this seed taketh away. We're having issues with the boss, but yet we're got a lot of free sweet loot here.
Yeah, it's very true. It's a high-powered start, for the players, and it's a high-powered start for the enemies as well. I mean, Brianna's taking on this is a vanilla Kefka's Tower boss fight, or monster fight. So these can be scary critters to take on. We'll see if her party is up to the task.
Yeah, especially when that Evil Oscar is by itself. Unfortunately, she cast Alexander, and the Evil Oscar absorbs Holy. But when it's by itself, it starts using the Sourmouth lore, which can be nasty.
Oh yeah, that could devastate a party. It doesn't kill you; it just makes you so useless that you wish you were dead.
Pretty much, yeah, and it just spams that when it's by itself. It looks like it's been cut. Yep, yeah, here it comes. Oh, nice block there, beautiful.
Jack takes down Chatternook.
There we go.
Fraggle and chat pointing out the Sourmouth lore is a fantastic ability. Once you learn that and can put it to effect, it's a great power. Not so much when it's directed at you. Oh, and look who has lore. It's Locke, who Jack just picked up at the end of that Terra check.
There you go. So find that Sourmouth and get it on him.
Didn't see Sourmouth. Did see some juicy ones though. I saw Blowfish which is fantastic lore early on. Just does a flat 1,000 damage to anything it hits. Considering the damage output we saw in Jack's party in that last fight, that would be a significant damage boost to his team.
Blowfish has been known to save a few seeds for me, so yes, definitely agree with that one. It's one you love to see, especially in the beginning.
Oh yeah.
Even later on, too, sometimes you'll want to see that one.
Sid now diving deeper into Narsh, going to head up to the Kefka and Narsh check. It is not a character, but it looks like Sid's going to give it a shot anyway. As Jack heads to Ruined Narsh to knock out that very easy, very lucrative lock check, cracking open the weapon store and maybe taking a peek at the Cursed Shield.
Decides to keep the Yeti for a little while and just puts lock on the airship.
Those are very, very fun colors for the Kefka army, the Imperial army, very bright. Jack finds, ooh, wow. Valiant Knife or Esper chooses the knife.
Well, he's already beat Chad, so he can take his pick.
That's a very good point. He does get both. That is a bonus of having both Terra and Lock. Meanwhile, I love Sid continuing to make use of this Terato Esper summon, using that to wipe out one of the troops in this Kefka at Narsh battle. Looks like he's doing a bit of grinding as he works his way towards Kefka himself.
Yeah, that Garmin Commando one, they're actually very high physical defense, but they're pussycats when it comes to magic, especially they're weak to lightning, so that's what you want to have in those fights.
Yes, indeed. Meanwhile, Brianna continuing to grind. I saw what was on the Siren Esper. It looked like Bolt Spell was the only really exciting thing there. So, other than this Flare, which obviously Murdershide Realm will put to great use with her magic power, not a lot of really exciting spells to sling as yet. Though, I mean, obviously we can see this Flare doing great work. Mr. Entity now taking on Ultras 4 at the end of Owzer's Mansion. Will earn an Esper out of that as Sid continues to chew his way through the troops of the Kefka at Narsh battle, and looks like Jack is heading up there as well.
Yeah, he completely skipped the Terra check back there. Just going straight for the top. Oh wait, he's in the wrong one. That's right.
I also saw. Did Realm just learn Ice 3 on Brianna's screen?
That is a good question.
I know she's the only one who's really gathered a few Espers thus far. Chat saying yes, so that is a very strong spell for a very strong spell caster. I look forward to seeing Brianna take on some bosses as we see Jack is taking on a dragon.
Wonder if he realizes the dragons are not scaled in this seed.
Well, he will learn it soon. Fraggle and chat pointing out you can mute the white dragon, so the Siren Esper would be very useful in this regard. Sadly, Jack doesn't have any Espers. Has been really, as we can see from the tracker, is ahead on characters, but has not found any of those magical stones as yet.
Yeah, he hasn't done pretty much not too much in the world of Ruin yet, or at least gone west yet. Brianna getting away from the dragon. Let's see if she remembers if the dragons are scaled. Nope, she's gonna check it out as well. But at least she has the Siren Esper, so she'll have an easier time with it.
Yeah. Branna runs into the dragon, immediately restarts. I don't want to
Or
root
not.
against him, but I expect a restart on Jack's screen. There it is. As Sid is run into a unpleasant encounter. These Orargs, they're not as bad as Ogors, but they can be annoying. Sid is through it. Missed the soldier skip, sadly, and we'll have to take on a few more encounters, though he's obviously free to run away. But instead, Zombie Go-Go poisons Realm on Sid's screen. Meanwhile, look at this Brianna pulling out the Siren, muting the White Dragon. This is an extremely winnable fight for her now. That is going to be a huge boost as Jack runs into, oh my goddess, it's Goddess.
OMG indeed.
Well, here comes the benefit of Glowfish, because you want to explain some of the difficulties Goddess can pose for our runners, Wacko?
Apparently not much, because she's already down. But yes, Goddess has, if you use a physical attack, she can counter with Protect Me, which will pretty much prevent any other physical attacks from going through. Of course, the one you really got to watch is her Overcast, which will do a countdown, and once it reaches 0, everybody turns into zombies. She's also absorbs lightning and holy magic, and really doesn't have any weakness, so you just kind of gotta shut your eyes and throw whatever you can at her. Was that I think that was an Excalibur at the Goddess there. There we go. A flare proc will make that White Dragon fight easier. And the Umaro check boss is Nerapa. This should... Yeah, exactly. By the time I finished talking, it was already done. And it is Cyan. Down goes the White Dragon on Bree's side. And we have another offering in this seed. Nice. A few more Valiant Knives, and we're good to go. Oh, we do have a fixed dice. We have a Valiant Knife out there. Now it's time for Bree's Goddess fight. Let's see if this one is just as free as Jack's was. Up starts with the love token. Fortunately, Umaro's body slam will go past that, though. Umaro doing offering stats. You gotta love that. Okay, and Jack's getting a 3 check done by going into the Dream now. This is probably a move I would have done. Definitely a possibility to get up to 3 Espers in here. And starting with Welk, oh, this should be hard. Mr. Entity getting the bad news of the Genji shield as the prize.
Apologies for that. I had some technical difficulties. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. I just want to make sure everyone can everyone hear me as well?
I think so. I hope so.
Okay, so Jack just found the Palador Esper at the first check, and so check number 2 is Strago in the dream. So that will give him his 7 characters. Now he's just got to find some rocks.
Yes, indeed. We have 2 new characters soon to be added to the party. Strago on Jack's side and Cyan on Brianna's side, provided she can take care of this Narapa, which I suspect she can.
Yeah, Jack took it out in 2 hits. I think Bree's fine.
Sid going back for a rematch against Katana Soul, putting that Blowfish lore to great effect. And as I mentioned earlier, this Terra with Ragnarok will continue to get stronger as the seed goes on, doing a big hit there.
Did Realm try Doom against it?
She did. I don't know the exact interactions of Katana Soul. I know Katana Soul can kill itself with Slayer Edge, so I guess it's not immune to instant death attacks. But I don't know that for sure. Would love some clarification, perhaps from one of our experts in chat. But Sid is through, has his second offering, has a fat chunk of change.
So if there's Espers at the auction house, I think it's safe to go over there now.
And I believe Sid also now owns 3 Thunder Shields, so very well defended, particularly against
what? Okay. There's a different flag. So the boss can be redone. We got another goddess, and Love Token is on. Ugh.
Random bosses. Did not catch that little wrinkle in our flag set. Yeah, that means all bets are off in terms of who you encounter in a boss location. Maybe all of the bosses and the rest of the seed are goddesses. Wouldn't that be fun? As Jackamus's party continues to beat itself up.
Okay, at least a flare proc got off there. Let's see if Mr. Entity decides to go for the dragon as well.
We shall see. I mean, that Siren Esper was really the difference maker for Brianna. Sid had to take a think, Esper or V-Knife. But fortunately, Yako, as you mentioned, he can have both. He can have it all.
Oh, not bad. Strago is a tool user, so the old man with his tool chest. It's going to be tinkering with something in the garage.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the Tools command. I think it can be very useful, particularly early game, but I think Jack's party is pretty set, and it'd be tough for Tools Strago to make the roster at this point.
Okay, so the dream is definitely worth going to as a character and 2 Espers. He got Palador earlier, and now he's got Crusader, which is the Esper that you will always get whenever you use the Magicite item.
Mr. Entity, by the way, sees Goddess at the Tritalk location, immediately resets. Meanwhile, Brianna is putting that Cyan to work with one of his checks, finds 3 Stooges, another sort of tricky fight.
I think there was one seed I did. I think I had to fight them like 4 times with these flag sets. So let's hope that
God.
let's hope that doesn't happen here. All right, Sid's gonna give it a
that realm
try.
slinging Ice 3 will do short work. Sid taking on the White Dragon. Again, a lot going on screen. We've got the Stooges, we've got the Goddess, we've got the White Dragon. All very exciting stuff. Very exciting fights.
And Jackson Tomasa, I guess, is he gonna go into the burning house?
That would be a unusual play, and maybe the sort of unusual play that he's thinking his opponents won't check, and that might give him a leg up. Well, we'll have to see. Brianna, meanwhile, is through. The Doma Castle fight earns another Esper, and it's Fenrir, and it's Magic Attack 1. Those are two very good things, even though the spells themselves looked kind of weak. Yako, why is Fenrir such an exciting Esper to find?
Oh, very exciting, because Fenrir, once you cast it, it gives everyone the image, which is what you will need in Tier 3. There are two Espers that are very good against Tier 3 in the final fight. That's Fenrir and Golem, because they will block the Calmness final, what do they call that, desperation attack that the Goddess will do. And so it will prevent instant death.
Yes, indeed. Extremely useful in the final battle. Jack does indeed dive into Casa del Fuego. One of Thrego's checks. We'll have a string of random encounters here that are theoretically avoidable, but you always hit a few of them, as we have dual dragon duels taking place with Mr. Entity and Sid against this fearsome white dragon.
All right, we also got another check we haven't seen yet. Zozo, Mount Zozo for Bree. Nice, a real crown there. Actual decent helmet, although there's not too many of those you can find in the game.
Yeah, the list of decent headwear is pretty slim in Final Fantasy VI.
I think they can put on their Ash Ketchum hat and it'll be just as effective.
Yeah, right. Sid using a very unorthodox strategy. Because he has so many Thunder Shields, he's using lightning magic to heal the party. And it does the job, and he takes down the White Dragon.
All right, and Bree's going for another dragon. She's going for the Storm Dragon. How vanilla can you get here? Not exactly who
this
you want to
one
see.
won't be as easy as the White Dragon. Brianna unable to mute this one, but as we see, has some very powerful magics, has some powerful curative magic, which will definitely help against those storm attacks, and Bearing Misfortune should be able to take down her second dragon. Jacquemus, meanwhile, takes down Leader, a quote-unquote boss, in one hit. And that is Burning House done, earns the Bismarck Esper as his reward.
It's just a friend. R.I.P. Bismarcky.
Yeah, that's true. R.I.P. Meanwhile, Sid taking on this Goddess. Sid much happier to see Goddess than perhaps the rest of our players with this incredible thunder protection he has. With 3 Thunder Shields for 3 party members. He'll take bosses that swing fire magic all day.
Ooh, Sid just had to take a wipe on Goddess.
Well, I immediately regret my words. Yes, he does take a wipe. Goddess is more than lightning magic, and he'll have to try that again.
Yeah, unfortunately, Terra ended up hitting herself, and he did a water edge, which left everyone almost dead. So it looks like live to try another. Oh, no, he's going back up there.
Yeah, Sid will not be deterred as Jack is taking out the Figaro Cave boss, a very convenient boss because of that lovely Health Spring. Right before it, it is Ghost Train. No Blitz users in the party, sadly, but a fun fight against this spooky locomotive. Shouldn't be too much trouble because Go-Go is going to kill it in one hit. Boom. Love that cleave ability. Big fan of sword tech.
Don't you wish you can just use a sword and just slice a train in half?
Yeah, I don't know. What's cooler, suplexing a train or cleaving it in half? They're pretty close, in my opinion. Meanwhile, Brianna takes down that Storm Dragon, earns an economizer for her efforts, which, if anyone was going to make use of it, yeah, it would be Brianna's Realm. Mr. Entity still working through this White Dragon fight as Sid, does a repeat against this goddess.
Actually, for slicing that train in half, Jack was awarded with the Tritok Esper.
A decent reward for his efforts. Want to point out, Jack is in Returner's Hideout for the first time, so now has 2 Ragnarok swords. Happily, it puts the Genji glove on Terra. She'll be swinging 2 endgame swords at once, and be excited to see the results of that in the next battle. Looks like at top of Mount Zozo for Brianna, just an item, so a bit of a dead check.
But what item?
That is the question. Well, there are no Illuminas in this seed, is that correct?
There are no Illuminas. That flag has been turned on, and it looks like she has another cat head.
Not super exciting. Again, headwear in Final Fantasy VI just does not move the needle a lot. Cat Hood is one of the best of the bunch. Looks like Brianna's heading towards Cyan's Dream now, as Jacquemus is taking a whitewater rafting ride down the Leet River.
Oh, that's always fun. I guess he's trying to get his levels up. He's prepping for the Kefka's Tower. That's why he's doing. I guess that's why he's doing the Burning House and doing the Leet River.
Yeah, two sort of grindy checks, and perhaps doing some metagaming, thinking that these are checks other runners might tend to avoid, and looking to gain an edge there somehow. One of the great thing, of course, is taking on these random battles after completing Cyan's Dream is sword tech is completely filled up, and you can use that cleave attack, which can make many, though not all, random encounters basically trivial.
Yeah, no sign of Gal yet, so no Trench yet, and of course no Celis either, so no either Opera House or Vector.
No, though Mr. Entity does take down the White Dragon, earns an offering, though there are just been a plethora of offerings on offer in this seed. That is the 3rd one we've seen. Sid has no trouble taking down Narapa the Rappa and earns Cyan as his reward. And Brianna is fighting a giant snail.
With a Yeti, no doubt.
Yeah, that's always a little dicey, but obviously no problem for Brianna's team. We have Mr. Entity entering Umaru's cave as Sid is leaving it. And so at this point, we have seen a fair bit of divergence, always exciting to see. Brianna is changing Realm's name into Red Rum to reflect her true Murder Child capabilities. This is fun swag from Brianna.
You never know what you're going to see in these runs.
Jack must make it to the boss at the end of the Leet Reader. It is Senor Behemoth.
Si, senor.
Si, senor. This Genji Glove double rag Terra will make short work of this boss, as we can see here.
Now just cleave it.
That's true. The second form is cleavable.
And he didn't even need to. He's already got it done.
Yeah, with Illumina's out of the pool, Ragnaroks are the best swords in the game, and we can see why, as Jack is putting them to good work. Also earns a Minerva, so if that Terra wasn't already OP enough, slap the best armor in the game on her, and GG the rest of the seed. Jack has an extremely strong party right now.
And now he's making his way to the Esper Cave to get his Alexander. Yeah, a double dose of best armors are the Minerva and the Behemoth suit, which is actually the best armor vanilla for Strago or Realm.
That is very true. Yeah, there have been some great items in the pool thus far.
Everybody else is taking a snooze right now while Jack is in the gathering place.
Pulling out some Quadra Slice on Jack's screen. Love to see that. I think one of the best changes in Worlds Collide is just making the Sword Tech bar fill up much faster, makes Sword Tech a much more interesting, dynamic, and powerful ability.
And
so
usable.
I personally enjoy, and yeah, usable is really the main thing that it makes Sword Tech. But yeah, when it's useful, it is extremely useful. No warp stones, however, so Jack has to walk out the long way as Brianna takes on another goddess.
So what are we thinking? How many goddesses are we going to find in Kefka's Tower tonight?
That is a good question. We could set up a poll for chat. How many goddesses will be in this seed? I think it's not out of the realm of possibility to have a third goddess.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. We'll probably have one more, although maybe not in Kefka's Tower, but probably in another check, I think. He thinks we're going to have chicken dinner in Kefka's Tower.
Why, I do love some spicy chicken.
I haven't had dinner yet, so I'm game.
Yeah, I know, you're making me hungry. We've got Sid and Brianna taking on this goddess fight. Mr. Entity working through Cyan's dream as Jack takes down Riz at Doma Tower and the World of Balance. And picking up that oh-so-useful Fenrir Esper.
So I don't think he got Chirado yet, so if he can make his way to Zen, and then he might possibly be in Go mode if there's two Espers in Jitor.
Yeah, I mean, we're approaching the 1 hour mark in this race. It is gone by so fast, but we are approaching the beginnings of Endgame.
Okay, I just saw his screen. He did get the Zen check, so he does have Chirado.
Gotcha.
Getting some of his items to prep for the final battle. And do we have Espers in Jitor? We do not.
We sure don't. Well, that means more checks are on the docket. Where to next?
No one's done regular Zozo yet. It looks like that's
where he's going. Jack's about to. With the lack of warp stones, he will have to make the Walk of Shame out of Zozo, but needs must when you gotta make these last few checks.
Let's see how many more Ragnarok's offerings he can find on the way up.
Brianna choosing to add the old man and his toolkit to the party. Says, Strego with tools, sign me up. Of course, Brianna has still not done the Zone Eater Cave, and is still lacking the Terra that I believe two of our runners have.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so even though it looks like she's in a good position, but she still has a ways to go.
Yeah, I think both Brianna and Mr. Entity have yet to explore Gogo's cave. Meanwhile, Mr. Entity has to take a quick restart because his Yeti has a holy weapon on it, and that's not going to work against the goddess.
No, it won't. Okay, yeah, so Bree's going in there now. Sid just picked up his Valiant Knife from the back of Narsh.
And Jackamus finds those brothers, Niles and Fraser Crane, and already deleted one with that Uber Terra that he's rolling with.
So
and Brianna finally heading down to the Zone Eater Cave.
So my question is, where's Daphne?
Who is the Daphne in this situation?
There's another Esper. It's Daddy Terra.
Brianna also making it by these tricky conductors. Well done.
Take that safety save. You never know.
I always support the safety save. Getting crushed by the giant rock, first of all, it feels bad, and it feels so much worse if you haven't saved. And, it doesn't take long to save. I remember that old cool tip from old, computer RPGs. Save often and in different slots. Jack taking the crane down. This was the Zozo Walk of Shame we mentioned earlier. It's really not that bad. And, taking a crane down the side of a rain-slicked skyscraper is always pretty cool in my book.
We're going to see how Sid decides to take on the Phantom Train to get his Tritok.
Ooh, and now Brianna making the hard call of who to add to her team with this sort of late-game Terra. It does juggle things around a bit. Looks like keeping Strego, dumping Gogo. As Sid takes out the Ghost Train with a minimum of fuss. Another boss down for Sid.
Alright, Jack is heading... Oh, it looks like he's going to do a little more shopping, I think. Yeah, he hasn't done this check yet, I don't think. Yeah, I don't have it in my notes, yeah, but he'll be getting his Siren Esper pretty shortly.
We'll be very happy to see that. Do want to give a quick shout out as some of our runners are currently menuing to give the runners a follow if you're so inclined. They're all very talented members of the Worlds Collide community, and we really appreciate them putting on this very exciting, very well-run community race. And just a brief shout out to some of the people that are making this stream possible. Ravlin is our restreamer, doing a tremendous job. Naku, our terrific tracker, keeping track of all this madness going on before us. And Yakko Wacko and I here in the commentators booth getting the fun job of talking about it.
And yeah, special thanks, Ravlin. It's Naku, because they're making us look like we know more than what we're talking about. So thank you for all you are doing. Oh, we haven't seen Ebit's Rock yet. That's where Mr. Entity's gone to.
Yeah, making the first play to Ebit's Rock. I personally just cannot stand this check. For my money, this is the worst check in the game. I know there are longer checks, I know there are harder checks, but just the RNG of running around in the dark with all these teleporter rooms it just drives me nuts.
It's kind of sad whenever I have Strago and I have to do one of his checks. This is the first one I do.
Yes, and maybe that's why I don't like it as well, because I know, mechanically it's a decent check, but it's just the RNG of the teleportation. Interesting question for chat. If you'd like to chime in, what's your least favorite check? Doesn't have to be the quote unquote worst check in the game.
Oh, there we go. Oh, dinner time. Dinner time.
Oh, yummy.
Get my Havana barbecue sauce out. We got to vote for
Mr.
Fanatics
now
Tower.
Tossing Ice 3 at Poltergeist, the spicy chicken of Final Fantasy VI. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Poltergeist is not weak to ice, or is he?
It is. He is not weak to ice. He's actually weak to poison, if this makes any sense whatsoever.
Well, anything's weak to Ice 3 if you cast it enough, and the spicy chicken goes down to the cooling magic of Mr. Entity, and that is a complete Ebbets Rock check for him, as we see Jacquemus now entering Ebbets Rock.
And that is Starlet, so Jack's going to be very happy when he sees that. All right, let's see what we got in the chat. We got Fanatics Tower as a least favorite check. I kind of agree with that one.
That's up there.
Yeah, Mount Zozo. We've got Kefgut Narsh. I'll agree with that one. Ebbets Rock, Zone Eater. Any Strago check, yeah. Ebbets Rock again. Fanatics, Phoenix Cave. That's a new one there.
All good options.
Yeah, Phoenix Cave tends to be one I forget about. Yes, Entity did finish Ebbets. It was the Starlet Esper.
Well, we now have 3 of our 4 runners are at the required 7 characters. I'd be interested to see if any of these runners are tempted by the option to skip a big chunk of Kefka's Tower. This was a new feature, put it in the most recent version of the Worlds Collide randomizer. There are 7 characters and 12 espers required to complete the game, but with 9 characters and 12 espers, you can skip, I think, straight to the gauntlet or straight to the final battle itself.
What it does is it takes you to the 3 switches, which are right before the Guardian check. So pretty much gotcha. Whoever your team 2 is at that point will be fighting 2 bosses, whereas groups 1 and 3 will only be fighting 1.
Interesting. It's a possibility for our runners if they're so inclined. I think particularly for some of our runners that are set with characters but still need a fair amount of espers to check. Some of these checks will undoubtedly be characters. So Brianna and Sid specifically may end up picking 2 characters just along the way as they continue working through checks.
Yeah, so that's an interesting question. If you are 710 and you're ready to dive in there, do you go for those last 2 checks, or do you just dive in and do the whole thing? Which one kind of do you think is quicker? Well, we did see Sabin is in the Fanatics Tower, but I guess Jack's just going to go all in.
Oh, Brianna casting Doom on Ghost Train. Love to see that.
Oh, there you go. Oh, my bad. He's going into Phoenix Cave. Okay, never mind. I still don't know what I'm doing. I'm still sleeping.
No worries. Yeah, Jack diving into Phoenix Cave, Mr. Entity diving into a burning house, Sid completing up Owser's mansion, and we will have to see where Brianna goes next.
A wiry dragon, you don't see those every day.
Very true. I will say, briefly, getting a glimpse at some of the espers our runners have collected on Brianna's screen. There is a little twist to our standard formula. These espers have maximum 3 spells, but there have been some gems just in that limited selection. Obviously, we saw Brianna just make great use of Doom, and of course all the high-powered magic that Realm has been flinging. So luckily, this has not been a totally, dead seed in terms of magic spells. Brianna now about to loot that very juicy Imperial basement as Jack continues to work his way through the Phoenix Cave.
Question is, at this point in the seed, do you go all the way in or just take the loot? In her case, unfortunately, it's an experience egg, so if she goes all in, she's going to be wasting time. And okay, yep, she's going in.
Yeah, we'll not be happy to see that at the end of it, but hopefully makes it through that check fairly quickly. Certainly Mr. Entity is going to make it through this fight very quickly because its leader, LOL, he's dead.
And Mr. Entity is going to find just a friend.
Indeed.
Well, at least if Bree goes through the treasure checks here, at least she'll get some good stuff while she's getting disappointed with the final outcome.
That is true. Jacob's, meanwhile, about to finish up Phoenix Cave, see what's at the end of this long 2-party puzzle dungeon.
Sid's about to get the disappointing news of the Mount Zozo dead check.
Yeah, Mount Zozo being dead is always a bummer. Just because of that sort of cutscene that plays as you step out to the top of the mountain, and there's this like slow pan over the little sparkle that is not going to be a character or an Esper.
And Phoenix Cave is a dead check as well. It's an Aegis shield.
Oof, 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 oof.
Oy. He may have to unlock Sabin and find that 9th character that way.
Well, he does have an Esper stashed away in the back of this Welk check.
Yep, that's number 11 for him. I don't know why, but I keep thinking it's 10. I gotta remind myself it's 12.
Yeah, the standard race or standard flags in Worlds Collide are 710. Or at least that's what comes up on the website. We've added a little more for this community race just because we have some very talented runners. We want to get more of their high-level play on screen.
I think I'm so used to the ladder runs right now.
Fair enough. Interesting for Jack as he puts together this party for Kefka at Narsh. He's been holding on to Gogo and Umaro this whole time. Have kept them in the party. Meanwhile, Sid choosing to take on this Storm Dragon on the way up Mount Zozo. Mr. Entity has Cyan swinging the Ragnarok sword instead of Terra on some other teams. He has, of course, not found Terra yet. But one of the Stooges is down. Really, once you take down the fiery one on top, the rest are a little easier, as we see the Ice Stooge is weak to instant death, goes down. The other Stooge is weak to Cyan swinging the Ragnarok sword, goes down, and that is a very clean boss fight for Mr. Entity.
Certainly.
Jack finds Flame Eater at the end of Kefka at Narsh. I am reminded of someone in chat earlier mentioned that with the Debilitator tool, you can make Flame Eater weak to fire. I really have to check that. Try that on one of my next seeds. but Flame Eater already down. Sid finds the bad news at the top of Mount Zozo.
We'll have to put that on the bingo card.
Yeah, I was just thinking that, yeah.
Whew, holy dead checks, Batman.
I was just thinking that. I know, these final few espers are very elusive.
Jack may have to go and unlock Sabin just to see if he can get his final Esper. Unless there's a check we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, I'm running it through my head. I think required Fanatic's Tower might be the play. We've done all Gogos, all of Omaros, all of Realms, all of Cyans, all of Locks.
I take it, was Moblitz a dead check? Do you remember?
Unfortunately, we didn't see. Jack's screen broke up a bit, but we can check the tracking document. But yeah, I sort of love this twist. An hour and 15 in to what has been a very high-powered seed, the gut punch of a required Fanatic's Tower.
Okay,
Sid makes the long walk out of Mount Zozo. That's just the worst kind of Mount Zozo. It's a dead check, and you have to make the long walk out.
Okay, so the Moblitz check is the Ragnarok Esper, according to the checker. And it was Atma.
There you go. Meanwhile, Jack looks like he's about to begin the ascent. You know, I think the game appreciator in me appreciates Fanatic's Tower. I think it's a very unique, I guess, dungeon. Just this endless slog of stairs. It's one of the fun design touches in Final Fantasy VI, but of course, actually playing it is a little less fun. Fortunately, you don't have to do the random encounters with all those level X magic enemies that give magic points and nothing else. Never want to see those.
Yeah, this will definitely give your fingers a good workout going up these stairs with your controllers.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I don't like Fanatic's Tower, is just mechanically I'm bad at it. I'm always going downstairs or missing the landings, whatnot. Finds a Thunder Shield on top.
All right, Jack gets himself a water break right now, because this takes about a minute to fill up.
Wouldn't you love to see a Magimaster at the top of this? Just the icing on the cake.
Oh my god. Or if it's another goddess. No, it's Ultros 3.
Instead, it's our little purple friend. He's back. Meanwhile, Sid has run into an Atma. We have Sword Tech Gogo going at it. This is the Mowgli's fight, as we see Sid down to 2 characters. Fortunately, Terra is one of them, and Gogo does have Sword Tech to throw in some damage. Jack now throws shields at the problem, chucking some Thunder Shields, breaking those shields, but doing quad 9s in the process, and cleans up that Ultros fight.
All right, Atma's down, and now we're going to find out if it's Ragnarok the Esper or Ragnarok the Sword.
Yes, indeed. Jack, making the long trek down, will, of course, be rewarded with a Sabin for his efforts, who opens up quite a few checks, so has a few options available for him. It is the Magicite, Ragnarok.
It's the Magicite, so I think Jack noped out of that battle, so that could have been the one right there. Unfortunately,
and a Magicite that teaches Fire 3, no less. So a very useful Magicite at that. Meanwhile, Mr. Entity finds the bad news on top of Mount Zozo, has to stare out into the cloudy peaks, contemplating life. as this very slow pan comes back down on his dead check. But sorry, you were saying?
I was saying, yeah, that kind of puts Sid back into the ballgame right here just by getting that one check, and Bree is about to get some bad news in the Phoenix Cave. All right, so that opens it up for Jack quite a bit more. He's got 5 more checks now. The question is, where's he going to go first?
That is the question. I think Zen is sort of a free check, so no reason not to head there first. And of course, you get to scope it out. At the beginning, though, Jack did not save, so he doesn't really get a choice on whether he wants to do this check or not. And it is Gao.
Wow.
Yeah, well, now we can cross our fingers for the dream of double slot Gao.
Good lord.
As we see Mr. Entity heading up the Fanatics Tower, making the play. We'll be very happy to see a simple Ultros at the top as Brianna's working through the Phoenix Cave.
Who knew the old man had those moves? Hopefully I can still do that when I'm 70.
Yeah, right? Carrying all those tools, no less.
Hey, it's amazing what you find in Grandpa's toolbox.
As Sid taking care of this Esper Mountain check, which was, number 24. Should not be a problem for him this late in the game. Mr. Entity experiencing the slow gathering of these fanatics, I suppose, at the Fanatics Tower. We'll be very relieved to find Ultros 3 at the end of that.
Morph and Capture is what Gal has. Yeah, so Entity's getting his quick water break as he comes in here to find his Ultros. So Jack's got...
Morph and Capture, you know, I've seen worse, but that Gao is not joining the team this late in the game.
No. But at least now he has his 9 characters, so it's just going to be a straight shot straight to the statues. Still got to find 2 more Espers. So the question is now, where does he go? Oh, Atma weapons for sale.
Love to see those.
It's not in every game you see someone sell an Excalibur.
Well, these runners have found so much juicy loot in this seed. It has been a very generous seed in some respects, mainly in regards to equipment. It has been a tricky seed in regards to apparently a required Fanatics Tower. So, as you said it earlier, the seed giveth, the seed taketh away. And Mr. Entity taking on a dragon in the Fanatics Tower. It is the Skull Dragon.
I think that is the only dragon that is not weak to poison. So that strat doesn't work. I like to throw the poison strats out once in a while.
I support that. Really, it really helps, especially with unscaled dragons, to chew through their very high HP. Mr. Entity, however, has Fire 3, which will also chew through Skull Dragon's HP, and looks like he'll be making short work of that as Jacquemus does another save-in check, heading to the Imperial camp. Let's see if Brianna... Does she think it's Ragnarok the Sword or Ragnarok the Magicite? This'll...
She's gonna give it a try.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Imperial Camp was dead. Did not see what it offered, but Flame Shield, according to Fraggle, thank you very much. Another Elemental Shield. Lovely to see, but not so much lovely to see when you're desperately looking for the final few Espers to finish off your requirements. This is actually, I think, a very good showcase for why standard seeds are usually run at 710. We've seen two of our runners have been at 710 for a fair while now, and really just turning up the requirements just that little bit from 10 to 12 turns this into a much longer, much more wider ranging seed, which as a viewer I'm happy for, and I hope our viewers are enjoying as well.
Got a lot of different perspectives how to get through, but it looks like, if 7 is required, it looks like everyone's going to end up in the same area. And we have Doulahan at the Barren Falls check.
Doulahan, the skeleton riding a chariot pulled by flaming skeletons, who is not weak to holy, you would think. But Doulahan is weak to Genji Glove, Ragnarok, Terra, as most things tend to be.
Yeah, I think you can cast Holy on it. I think the only thing it's absorbs is ice. All right, time for another.
That is true. It does take damage from Pearl. It does not absorb Pearl. It absorbs ice. I guess it goes back to being a kid and assuming skeletons are weak to Pearl.
Exactly. Or maybe you're just hungry again because we got another serving of spicy chicken coming up.
Yeah, we've got some spice on screen. And we also have Sid with that Valiant Knife lock doing some lovely defense-ignoring damage.
Valiant Knife lock doing Valiant Knife lock things. And that is Unicorn.
That is an Esper for Jack, exactly what he wanted to see.
So I believe that does put him in go mode.
Yeah, at nearly 1 hour 26 minutes, Jack's going to do maybe some final shopping, and is free to head into KT, and is free to skip a fair chunk of KT with the 9 out of 12.
So it looks like the skip may be required then. Sid picking up his Starlet.
And there we see on Brianna's screen the power of Valiant Knife offering lock, doing, I think, over 10,000 damage to that Atma, who goes down. And then at 126, 40-something, we have Jack being the first to enter Kefka's Tower.
Mine had it at 126.43, and it's definitely got the huge advantage here. Let's see if Kefka's Tower does Kefka Tower things.
Yeah, all bets are off in Kefka's Tower. This game is not over. Jack has to now work through a boss gauntlet, and after that is, of course, the final battle itself, which is a 4-stage mega battle, which takes quite a while to chew through. So we'll see how Jack handles that, but obviously has a huge lead fighting another Ultros. This is Ultros 1, my favorite Ultros. I love that just the face sprite. But like all Ultroses, not a huge problem, goes down pretty easy.
Alright, nice delicacy there.
As Brianna now makes the play to head up Fnatic's Tower. And Jack pulling some rename swag, looks like. Lolk.
All right.
Sid now taking on Niles and Frazier. Shouldn't be too hard as Jackamus finds Rexol. Very one of those annoying bosses. Won't be too annoying for Terra. Again, Jack has this very tricked out dual-wielding Ragnarok Minerva Terra, and there's really not much that can slow it down. Rexol is not one of those things.
So Sabin is a natural jumper, so unfortunately we didn't find him earlier. He could have definitely been useful.
Yeah, love to see Jump on a high-strength character like Sabin, but I think, as you said, just found too late in the seed to really build, the kind of Dragoon build that we love to see.
And she's now Tiara.
Yeah, Tira. Finds a Tintanabar in the meme chest. Love to see some love for the meme chest as Brianna takes on this Ultros, and Jack gets a double dose of Niles and Fraser. Love to see it.
We got some spicy chicken, and now we got some tossed salad and scrambled eggs.
They live on in syndication.
A very expensive show to keep in syndication, mind you.
Sure. Well, I'm not. I don't know anything about television syndication. But anyway, Jack is through.
Yeah, a lot of it has to do with, number one, the popularity of the show, and number two, the length of the show. And since the show lasted for 12 years, pretty much every year it lasts outside of syndication, it gets more expensive. That's actually why The Big Bang Theory is the most expensive sitcom in syndication right now.
That's pretty interesting. Come to Final Fantasy Worlds Collide for the Worlds Collide. Stay for the television syndication facts. As Jack turns Yeti into Yeety, really just leaning into these memes. Goober.
Goober. You never know what I'm going to say on this, so sometimes it's scary to put a mic in front of me.
And for this final statue fight, we find another repeat, the Three Stooges again. This is Jack's weakest party. Though I think that is still enough to get the job done. Looks like his Yeety is swinging the Atma weapon.
This is the group of misfits here.
Yeah, this is the party of characters you don't want to see in your first party. But they're doing their best. They're making it work. They've already got one down.
It's the wrong one, unfortunately.
Yeah, and another Redux Sid, who does not have Setzer, just out of the blue runs into the Doomgaze battle and finds Narappa the Rappa again. Locke makes short work of that.
Okay, free check there. I'll take that.
Yeah, that is a lucky break for him. Finds a Magicite out of it, and Jack, meanwhile, has killed the Blue Stooge again. Curly, the Red Stooge, has revived it again. Finally, Yeti swinging at the right target. Really got to take out that top Stooge, the Red Stooge first, or else, as we see, it will continue to resurrect the other Stooges. But
All right.
Curly is now down. This should be an easier fight. Sorry, you were saying?
No, I'm saying we got a new check here, Mount Colts on Entity's side, so we'll see what that route will bring us.
That is true, as we see Sid diving into Kefka's Tower. Only has the 7-12 requirement, so no skip there. We'll have to make the long walk through those 3 locks. Will be interesting to see what's at the end of Mount Colts, as Jackamus is now in control of this Stooge fight. Just Larry left, and now Larry's gone.
All right, so we've got a Funbaba at the Mount Colts, and we'll see what else is going on in Kefka's Tower, thanks to Sid. Right now, there's about, although there was Jack got in about 6 minutes before Sid did, but Jack does still have a huge advantage, and it looks like he's getting ready to go all in.
Yeah, the statues are down. There's nothing in his way. He's about to take on the final battle.
All right, so he steps in at 1:33:36, so that was just under 7 minutes going through there.
Making good time. Mr. Entity finds the Kieran Esper in Mount Colts, so another Esper for the collection. As Brianna making her way through the burning house will pick up that Gao. So Brianna may have the option of doing the KT skip as well.
She definitely will have that option because she still needs to get her espers.
That is very true. And we see Brianna leaving Burning House as Mr. Entity enters it. Sid continuing that climb as Jack is now here in the final battle, taking on Tier 1. Yakko, you want to break down what we have in front of us here in this final battle?
Let's see what I remember. So we have 4 tiers in the final battle. We have essentially the 3 statues and then Kefka himself. In the first one, this is a very physical one. This is the first one. There's 3 parts on there, and it looks like Jack is doing exactly what he needs to do in this fight. You definitely want to get rid of the head and the arm furthest to the left out first because they do have desperation attacks in the end. And I'm still talking about it, and he's pretty much done. He's going on to Tier 2. So I'll just go to Tier 2. Tier 2, this one tends to be a trickier one. This has been known to trip up a lot of runners in the past. But there are 4 parts to this one. You have magic, you have tools, you have hit, and you have tiger. The most annoying ones definitely are magic and tiger. As you can tell, magic starts with a haste 2, so that's going to give him some work here. Fortunately, tools is weak to insta-death, and magic is weak to mute. So all you got to do is get that mute on. This is why we were talking about Siren earlier being a good Esper to have here. And Tiger is just annoying.
Tiger is annoying. I will give you that. I have been burned a few times by Tiger throwing out a zombification and zombifying one of my party members.
It's probably your Valiant Knife offering user.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah, it's another annoying thing with magic. He can also cast Life 3, so that will make this fight even longer than it needs to be. But I mean, he's just going right through this. I would say probably only a couple more minutes and he's pretty much done here. These are some really nice
Jack with a very strong party. Naku in chat pointing out that Mr. Entity finally bought the Torado Esper, but he bought it in World of Ruin, where it was much more expensive than the, 200 gold in World of Balance? I've never seen that cheap. So a bit of an overpay. Probably doesn't care at this stage.
Yeah. That's something we can laugh at in the post-interview.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Love to see Jack running with Umaro through this final battle. Generally, you see people keep Umaro on the airship, not even bringing him along as a Moogle charm wearer for the long KT walk. But Jack putting on a show for this very fun community race. Love to see it as he takes on Tier 3, where we will finally see that Fenrir Esper come into play.
And usually Tier 3 will kick off with either a Whirlwind or Mert stats. But this time it was Merton. There's that Moon Song from the Fenrir Esper. Of course, on Tier 3, you need to get the one on the left out first, because it is immune to all spells. Actually, as we're about to see right now. But the main thing is that it can revive to full health the other part, so that's what you got to avoid.
Yeah, really need to take out Lady as soon as possible, which Jack has done. Has the Fenrir status up, so these Calmness attacks miss, and Jack is now ascending into the clouds.
So far, this fight has taken not even 5 minutes. He is just wiping through this.
That is very, very impressive. Finally getting to see. Well, I guess we've seen it all along. How these really powerful early items have sort of snowballed. We've seen Tira, if you will, swinging this Ragnarok sword all seed, and it's just gotten stronger and stronger as she has. I don't expect the Mad Clown to put up much of a fight, but again, you never know. One wrong, ultimate casting, and suddenly you're facing a restart. But with Tira doing almost 7,000 a swing, and Gogo putting in the work with that sword tech command I love so much, even 3,000 damage from Kefka does not put Tira down. It does put the Yeti down, but this is a very high-powered finish to this race.
Okay, and now's the time to throw everything you got at him. While he's in chaos mode, he cannot counter with his ultimate. So this is the best. Okay, there you go. You got a flare proc there. This could do it here. Oh, and meanwhile, we are getting a check at Serpent Trench on Amity's side.
GG.
GG. Okay. Do we have an official time on Jack? So Jack has an official time of 1 hour, 39 minutes, and 28 seconds. That was an amazing finish there.
Yes, indeed. As he joins us in chat now, Jackamus, GG, well done on that second place.
Hold on a minute. Two things. One, Stelfer wasn't on the restream. And two, I renamed my guys. That's the margin of victory. I won. Get it right.
Well, yes, of course. You're the people's champ for the rename. Very well done. Give us your thoughts on the seed.
Well, Ravlin rolled it, so of course the start was really bad. But, I mean, the first thing I found was Tira with sword tech, so the plan for the game was pretty darn obvious from the get-go. I think the main thing that lost me time on this is I'm too used to doing drafts where you start with warp stones, so I'm like, well, I know we got a go start, so I'm just going to go to the Zone Eater no matter what at the start and just get a few chests and get whatever's there was my plan, and open my menu. There's no warp stones there. Whoever put these flags together is mean. Very mean.
Yeah, to be honest, warp stones were pretty hard to come by. We saw a few runners have to walk out of Mount Zozo, not to mention the go-go check.
Yeah, I didn't find them until they were no longer necessary. I could have done Mount Zozo, I suppose, instead of, basically doing everything else to find that last Esper, and then it was like, well, Sabin at least has quick check, so I'll pick him up, and then, worst comes to where I'll find a 9th character, which I did, so that lets me skip half the KT, which was nice, so I stand by my decision to do Fanatics. I was kind of sweating on the way up, thinking, please don't be a boss immune to Thunder, because that's the only magical damage I have in there, but then lo and behold, there's an unnecessary Thunder Shield in the chest and just an Ultra, so it's like, oh great, I could have just ran right up here instead of, backtracking to Narsh to pick up more Thunder Shields.
Yeah, I think the only one who didn't do Fanatics Tower was Sid, because everyone else, followed the lead after you had done it. The one thing I noticed, you noped out of Moblitz, and that actually would have been the last Esper. That was the Ragnarok Esper.
Yeah, the problem with that is anytime the little girl's like, you're not going to take Ragnarok away, it's like, well, the sword or the Esper, be more specific, kid. Like, I'm not going to fight 2 bosses for, a really good sword that I really don't need at this point.
Yeah, the seed did seem pretty generous in terms of high-powered weaponry. With the rags, the V-knives, those fixed dice, which I don't think anyone even used.
There was no need to. The game gave you way better stuff. They were money to let you buy Ragnaroks, or that Atma weapon I picked up late for Umaro was a nice find.
Yeah, so how do you feel about sort of the random bosses rather than just having one of each? Does that affect your strategy at all?
No, because you never know what any given boss is going to be. I mean, I killed 3 or 4 goddesses today, which is usually pretty frightening, but I got a little lucky on the love tokens coming out, and I mean, if one of your guys gets love token, just kill them off and keep swinging away.
Fair enough. Well, Yakko, any last questions?
Nothing I can think of. I guess pretty much once you found Terra, everything pretty much started slowly coming into place, but then you kind of had trouble with the Espers. So pretty much, once you found Sabin, that was pretty much the go point at that point, would you say?
Yeah, definitely. Sabin's always nice to find because he has the best checks out of all the characters. And yeah, the way that the seed was set up, I mean, it was original equipment with a tiny bit of stuff sprinkled in, so Locke and Terra were immensely valuable because, they were basically the only characters that could equip the really, really good weapons, except for that lucky Atma weapon for Umaro later on.
Right. Actually, while we were talking, both Brianna and Entity have entered Kepka's Tower. We did find both of Gal's checks. Actually, we just discovered were Espers. The belt was Odin, and the Serpent Trench was Carbuncle. I know we noticed that you were doing a lot of the ones with the fixed checks, like Leet River and Burning House. Was Serpent Trench something that you would have considered later on if you had found Gal earlier?
No, I wasn't in those for the fixed encounters. I went to Burning House because at the time I wanted to go shopping and there's stores in Thamesa. And I did Leet because at that point I was very clearly running out of options.
Okay.
Cool. Any final thoughts on the seed?
The weeklies are always fun. I mean, it's nice to have a race that you don't really need to take seriously and just kind of do whatever. So, always a pleasure. I'm just going to hang out and watch the rest of the race, I suppose. So, I'll see you humans later. Thanks for doing all the usual hosting and all that jazz, and let's go Bruins!
All right. Appreciate that. We see Sid is now on to Tier 2 of the final battle, pulling out that Siren Esper to mute magic, which is a crucial play to make this Tier 2 much smoother.
And I think he was able to avoid that haste too that Jack had to deal with.
Love to see it. Let's see if this Doom proc goes off on tools. It does.
It does. So while we were talking, the Entity is going the full route in Kefka's Tower, while Bree was able to skip up to the statues. And it just looks pretty straightforward at this point.
Yeah, I do want to point out, Brianna's rolling with a level 50 Go-Go, which is not something you see very often. Our level 50 Boo, excuse me.
Is it ever normal to see a level 10 Go-Go?
Well, again, Sword Tech Go-Go, putting in the work. Valiant Knife Lock, obviously putting in the work. As Sid continues pounding this Tier 2 fight with his elemental magic. We see the 10 hits attack from hit. So mark these down.
Alright, Niles goes home to Mavis on Bree's side.
I will say, for a community race like this, it's fun sometimes to see just have sort of little tweaks on the standard formula. I think just, as we've seen tonight, turning a standard race into a slightly less standard race with the 7-12 requirement, the random bosses, the equipment randomness, I think has made for a fun showcase without throwing our runners too off kilter. So I think it's been a good race so far. I hope Chad is enjoying it. I certainly am.
Yeah, I'm definitely enjoying. Good to be back today.
Yes, indeed. As Mr. Entity downs Rexol, Brianna runs into Stooges Redux, and Sid begins this Tier 3 battle with Sleep and Lady. Again, with that Fenrir Esper. Should be in a pretty good spot. And a very low life Valiant Knife Lock, as we see, is doing big numbers on these enemies.
Hasn't gotten that Fenrir up yet.
Nope, there pops now.
Alright, there we go. So, wow, look at those numbers there.
Yeah, Sid really hoping that this Valiant Knife Lock can take down Sleep before a Meteo attack downs his party. Instead, he does trigger Calmness, does
nice.
evade the Calmness, and does ascend to Final Kefka.
Yeah, pretty much everyone on the verge of death, and then you see Terra's numbers up there. There's the Marvel of the Marble Shoes into play right there.
That is a very good point. I don't believe our runners picked up a Megalixir. At least I haven't seen one.
Yeah, of all this free loot they've been getting, we haven't seen a Megalixir.
I guess not, though it may not even be much of an issue. We see Sid, in fact, skips the Fallen One attack from Final Kefka by means of just doing so much damage. As we see, this lock is doing 24k a pop.
Yeah, it's over. It's over here, I think. It's probably one more hit or two. And there we go. I think we got some GGs coming in. Yes. Yep. We have GG to Sid. We've got an official time of 1 hour 51 minutes 55 seconds. Awesome job.
Yeah, great race. Good to see. Very good time for these slightly tweaked flags. And as we saw, all the runners had sort of difficulty filling out the final few requirements, but a very strong final battle from Sid and a very strong finish to this race. As Brianna soon to begin the final battle.
Gonna try to get a quick charge here before the second interview.
Brianna throwing a nice boojack into her final party list as she begins the fight.
Mr. Entity is not too far behind, especially considering that he had to do the whole thing. That's actually pretty good. I think the difference between them entering was about 4 minutes.
Yeah, we'll not have problem with this Ultros 1 as Brianna is attempting to take out Long Arm, the longer of the arms, with the Doom attack. Pulls that off with Go-Go. The head of Tier 1 is fortunately weak to fire, which is why we see Realm tossing out those quad 9s. They don't call her Murder Child for nothing. But does Brianna have the tools to... Oh, yes. The remedy spell will de-petrify that petrified Go-Go.
God, but these
We are joined in chat with Sid. Sid, GG on a good race. How did you feel about that seed?
I thought I was playing it really smart in the beginning. Like, I'm going to do Gogo's check. Nobody's going to do Gogo's check. And it's like, that opened up everything. I feel like a lot of people did Gogo's check.
Early Terra did seem like a very strong play. You and Jack did that straight off. Brianna and Mr. Entity... Well, Mr. Entity never went there. Brianna didn't go there until quite a bit later.
No.
And unfortunately, Mr. Entity didn't go there at all.
Yeah, that's rough. That's a huge break open in the seed. So I was struggling to find Magicite towards the end. I don't know if you saw me just flying around for Doomgaze, calling out his name.
Yeah, you were actually the only one that found Doomgaze, and that gave you your final Esper.
I was hoping to avoid Burning House and Fanatic's Tower, because I think those were my only 2 checks left.
Yeah, Fanatic's Tower would have given you Sabin. Actually, you were the only one who didn't go up it, because Sabin kind of opened up the rest of the finds in the Espers.
Ah, that makes sense. I just checked. I didn't do Terra's River check. I didn't do Phoenix Cave either. But those are the only 4 that I had available to me by the end of the game that you had any sort of checks.
Elite River, I believe, was a dead check anyway, so...
And there were so many dead checks.
So, avoided those.
I think I got like 3 separate Genji armor dead checks. It's crazy. Or Genji shields. Yeah, I had fun with it.
Yeah.
I thought I went fairly fast for what it was, so I'm not disappointed in my time. It's always tough going up against Jack, so...
What'd you think of the generosity that was going on at the early seed with all those checks?
Okay, so that first experience egg, I forget where I got it. I think it was like... It was somewhere obscure, but I was like, oh, cool. Experience egg. And then I was like, oh, they're just for sale in World of Balance. And they're basically free, because they gave you a couple more of those.
Yeah, I think there were like 2. There was one, the Esper Cave check, that was one of them.
Yeah, it kind of knocked the wind out from me. I was like, oh, okay, well that was gonna be a cool lead, I bet. That everybody's gonna get experience eggs. But it was nice. The Ragnaroks were nice. I thought I was gonna need more of them, but with the Valiant Knife, it was like, okay, I guess I don't need more Valiant like Ragnaroks. Thunder Shields were right off the bat, so everybody. It was a safe seed, for sure.
It definitely gave you the tools early on. How do you feel about the boss setup, the random bosses instead of shuffled bosses?
I thought, how many goddesses is this seed gonna throw at me? Because I had to reset off the first one, I think, at Welk. I'll do it after Kefka Narsh. But 2 more after that, maybe?
We do have another GG for Radio Guy PDX, who just finished with a time of 1:56:03. He's off screen.
Very nice. I
will say...
chat, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. I believe there were only 2 goddesses. It just felt like so many because it's such a slog of a fight.
I thought I had a 3rd one somewhere, but I it's a long seed, so...
Yeah, I remember 2. There was one was in the Tritalk spot, and the other I think was in the Dream.
The other, there's also one at Welk.
Welk was Chatternook.
Oh, that's what it was, Chatternook. Yeah.
Also a very annoying fight.
Yeah, everyone was having trouble with that one.
Yeah, I was definitely panicking at the end. Holy cow, those life totals. Literally.
Yeah,
my
when you
plan was
took
to-
down Sleeve, one Meteo could have ended the run.
Absolutely. I was planning on just killing Locke and then doing life 2 on him, and then I think he had lore, so he'd just do, Pearl Wind. And get everybody up. But I really didn't want to do that since he was already hitting super duper hard. So I just went for it.
Right on. Yakko, any other questions?
Nothing I can think of. Nothing in my notes here. I think I got everything here.
Awesome.
Cool. Well, Sid, feel free to give us any final thoughts, and GG again on a very well-run race.
Yeah, I'll go the opposite of mystery, and congratulations, Jack. You were in this one. Good job.
All right. Well, we see Brianna now is through Tier 3, survived Calmness with the party intact, has that Valiant Knife lock at a very low level, ready to swing the V-Knife for big damage, and is ready to take on this final Kefka form. Sorry, what was that?
I was going to say, despite Mr. Entity having to do the whole... Oh, sorry, my thing went dead. So despite him having to do the whole thing, they're only about 4 minutes apart going into the final battle here.
That's true, and of course anything can happen, but this Valiant Knife offering lock, swinging for big numbers, is going to work well for Brianna. That Hyperdrive drops Terra. Hate to see that, but Life 2 will bring her right back up, and of course Realm the Murder Child has been throwing out huge numbers with magic this whole seed.
Here. And this should do it right here. And it does.
GG for Brianna. Very well done. Just over the 2-hour mark, but a very well-run race.
Official time 2:01:44.
And interestingly, another point about Worlds Collide Divergence, I believe every runner we've seen has had a different party for the final. Brianna featuring Realm in hers, Jack took the Yeety, of course, and Mr. Entity been playing the whole seed. Sans Terra has Cyan swinging that Ragnarok instead.
Nice fun with rando, because I don't think Cyan can have it naturally.
Pretty sure not.
Now let's see if we go 4 for 4 here. Let's see it.
When we have huge Fenrir on screen.
Big dog.
Oh, and I'd love to see that Tool Strago putting in work in the final battle. I saw briefly, looked like Cyan had a pretty decent rage list, but we haven't really seen a lot of rage used by these runners.
Uh-oh, it's the Pat Monahan special.
Very high rate. And we have Brianna Split in chat with us. Brianna GG, good race. How'd you feel?
It was pretty fun. I mean, I made my usual silly mistakes, but I had a good time.
Happy to hear. When do you feel like the seed sort of cracked open for you? Because it was a sort of a tricky start.
Yeah, so it was a Gogo Realm Umaro Star. I think my big downfall was not checking Gogo sooner because other Best Girl was there. But the
Great
seed
show, yeah.
really cracked open for me and the path that I took when I went into Umaro's cave blindly, and it was like Cyan. The like, other than Terra, that was the best character I could have hoped for because of Esper density and checks.
For sure. And definitely put that to good use. You also did the statue skip as well,
Yes.
skipping ahead in Kefka's Tower. That's been sort of a new feature in Worlds Collide. Have you been playing around with that and using that when available?
I use it when it's convenient to use, but if it's gonna take me more than 20 minutes to get the requirements, then I don't bother. So when I hit Kefka's Tower, I had initially left because it was character, but then I was so close on my Espers and I had enough characters, and Sabin has 4 really quick checks and 1 not as quick check. So I'm like, I'll go for it. If I get another character, awesome. And then the very next progression check was Gao, so I was just set.
Right on.
Yeah, I think only you and Entity actually even went to the Velt with the Gao checks. Although, like he actually went to Serpent Trench and found another Esper, but I think like Velt that was go for you, right?
Yeah, because I only needed 2 Espers after I found Gao, so I was trying to get the fastest checks out of the way that I could, and that ended up being the Esper from the Falls, and then the Esper from Gao.
What'd you think of all that free loot so early on? All that high tier stuff.
I should have done more looting than I initially did, but I'm not dissatisfied with what I did. I probably should have gone looting for like 3 extra minutes before I started doing checks, because they would have just made the checks that much faster.
All right, and we have a GG for Mr. Entity. He just finished with a time of 2:06:56.
GG, Mr.
Very
B.
nicely done. All right. Oh, we got a fun overlay as we get to watch the credit scene of Final Fantasy VI. I lost my train of thought. Sorry. Yeah, to continue.
It's okay, I lost mine too.
No worries. Well, Brianna, any other thoughts on the seed as we're slowly losing our minds in the commentating booth?
There were some really good abilities out there, but they were buried too far into the seed. So by the time I started getting all of the characters with the good abilities, I just got decision paralysis. But as soon as I found that Valiant knife at the weapon shop, I kicked Jack out of my party. Boo, Jack. I was like, I had the offering, and Locke is joining.
Yeah, hard to say no to offering Valiant Knife Locke.
And then I had purchased 2 Atma weapons on the off chance that I found a Genji glove, but I didn't.
Yeah, I think
they were available. We did see Jack had a double Ragnarok Genji Glove Terra by the end of things.
Oh, nice.
There's a lot of stuff it was given, but there was quite a few things that took forever to find. Like mentioned earlier, the warp stones took forever to find. Actually,
Oh, I found them fairly quick, I think. I know I found them before I started doing any checks, and I started doing checks about 11 minutes in.
Well, you are one of the fortunate ones, because we saw several runners really wishing they had warp stones. I think Jack had to walk out of Gogo's cave. Either Mr. Entity or Sid had to walk out of Mount Zozo, walking out of normal Zozo.
I want to
Warp stones
say
seem pretty.
I want to say they were in Mobli's item shop. Yeah, because I got them right before I went into Esper Mount.
oh nice. Yeah, a lot of people really don't check that one. Yeah, there was we saw a lot of walks of shame heading out of places.
Yeah, I was like, it's on the way, so why not?
Cool. Well, Brianna, thank you so much, and GG on a good race. We're not going to kick you out, but we are going to turn over to Mr. Entity, who is also finished up. Mr. Entity, GG. How do you feel?
GG.
I finished.
There you go.
Yeah, that's a thing.
So who wants to tell them the bad news?
I don't like news.
You never went to Zone Eater Cave.
No, I put that off for a while and then forgot it existed.
That's
Well,
where
Tara was very upset that you never found her.
Yeah, probably. I based that entire run on gambling on things, and most of the gambles did not work out at all.
We noticed that doing some very sort of off the beaten path treasure checks, and going to Figaro Castle without Edgar. Was that your strategy from the start to sort of play it a little off meta like that?
My strategy from the start was I'm going to do Kefka Nourish early, so I know if the Umaro check is worth it, and I'm going to check all the treasures, because it's 100% random, so sometimes you're better off checking more treasures in 100% random. I think I maybe took that too far today. Especially when I did the Nourish Cave at the start, and 2 of the friggin' chests were empty.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I think that's a smart gamble to make. Unfortunately, the sort of standard checks were also pretty stacked.
I definitely didn't need to go out of my way for anything. The only thing I got that was worthwhile from doing weird things was an early economizer that I could sell.
Yeah, there was one other thing, unfortunately. I think everybody else found it, but you spent 34,000 on Torado. If you had gone to the other world, you would have spent 200.
Oh, I had tons of money. I didn't care. I had a cat hood before I did almost anything.
There was that early cat hood.
The only things I really spent money on were 3 experience eggs, and then at the very end, 6 thunder shields that I pretty much forgot I had until very final Kefka. I also found out today you can't double runic, which is a problem if you're counting on that to beat a dragon.
Can't double runic?
Oops.
What do you mean?
Well, I had Go-Go and Realm both trying to runic at the Pearl Dragon, and either whoever runics last takes over the runic status, or it's like a field effect that can only be applied once. So if you runic with 2 different people, and then a spell is cast, the next spell that's cast hits you.
That's interesting. It's good to know.
So it sounds like a canceling on the first one.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple programming reasons that might be a thing. I wasn't paying enough attention to who was actually performing the runic to make a judgment on that. But yeah, it was. Now I know a thing, and therefore I had to fight the Pearl Dragon 3 times. Although one of those was just
the White Dragon gave almost everyone trouble.
Well, the the first reset, and also 2 resets to the various goddesses, and I think one of the I can't remember. Rexol's is I kept giving Umaro an offering and a pearl weapon, which was not great for those fights. There's a lot of resets.
Well, at least by missing Terry, you actually gave us a couple of checks that nobody else found. You did Mount Colts and you did the Serpent Trench. So we were able to get to see some more of the world and found a couple espers that nobody else did.
Probably. Yeah, normally I go for Zone Eater before most other people do. I don't find it nearly as annoying as most people who complain about it. It's not a big deal to me. But yeah, today I just went, I'm going to do Kefket Nurse early, and then I forgot to ever go to Zone Eater. So I took a check that everybody hates and I did it, instead of the check that I usually don't hate but everybody else does, and didn't do that. I also proved on stream that Odin can miss. Twice. In a row.
Derp.
Yeah, like even Cleave, people will tell you that can't miss. It can, it's just really unlikely. So yeah.
Well, there you go, Mr. Edgy doing science for us on community night.
I'm helping the
missing.
community.
Yeah, can't double runic a runic. I'm gonna keep that one in the back of my mind.
Yeah, that's it's not gonna come up too often, but that is useful to know if you were walking around with Gogo a lot. Well, yeah, overall, it seemed like a fairly easy seed. I just went the wrong way. Basically, once I killed that first dragon, everything else was super easy. And apparently, according to some of this chat I'm seeing, I had much worse stuff than most people. I definitely spent
a well-run race.
60% of that race looking for a second thing for Cyan to have in his other hand, because I knew where Genji clubs were.
Yeah. Yakko, any other questions?
I think I got everything on my notes here. Yeah, I think that's everything I got here.
Cool. Well, Mr. Andy, we'll give you the last word, and then I think we're going to wrap it up here.
Cool. Well, just thanks to the Restream team, etc. As usual. Thanks to Atma for making the thing. Come play the game. If you're not doing it, I'm going to go play some Jackbox.
That sounds pretty fun.
All right, one more time. Show some love to all of our Restreamers tonight. All the links are in the chat.
Yeah, I thought this was pretty fun. Again, shout out to Ravlin, our restreamer, and Naku, our tracker. Yakko, it's been a pleasure commenting with you, and why don't you take us home and we'll sign off.
All right. What more is else to say? Goodbye, nurse.